They raise the stakes in a global game. We're just the pawns, yeah, it's all the same.
I heard this morning that the companies, the corporations that we paid tariffs to and paid inflated prices to were getting reimbursed for their tariffs. And so I looked into it because it said that Donald Trump had processed and sent approximately $20.6 billion in tariff refunds to corporations. And I thought, is he telling the truth? Is this a lie? Because, you know, he lies about everything. So I did a little research. So I'm going to share what I found. While Donald Trump personally opposed the payouts and blasted the corporate refunds as unpatriotic, his administration was legally forced to issue them. The payments are the direct result of a February Supreme Court ruling that struck down the centerpiece of his trade policy. The court ruled that the administration overstepped its constitutional authority by using the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, the IEEPA, to unilaterally levy massive global import taxes. We thought when the court did this that, oh wow, good job, Supreme Court, look at them. No. So the details about this, total liability. Let's just start off with, I was pissed about it, so I asked a couple questions and these were the answers that I got. And the details of the payout go like this. Total liability. The federal government is on the hook for an estimated $166 billion plus interest across 53 million shipments. The current progress. According to a May 2026 court filing with the U.S. Court of International Trade, $20.6 billion in certified refunds have completed the final stage of processing. An additional $65 billion in claims have been accepted and are currently moving through the pipeline. The process. Payouts are being managed electronically through a newly launched CBP portal called CAPE. CAPE, Consolidated Administration and Processing of Entries. Now, you think, wow, refunds. Not for us, not for me and you. Where the money's going. The anger surrounding these funds stems from who is actually getting the cash. So people are pretty angry. Number one, the corporations, not the consumers. The refunds are going strictly to the importers of record who directly paid the government, such as Walmart, Target, Costco, and Amazon. No consumer relief. Although economic data from the Tax Foundation and the Federal Reserve shows that American consumers paid these tariffs via higher retail prices, everyday shoppers will not receive direct government refunds. Legal backlash. Because corporations are pocketing the money, consumers have filed numerous class action lawsuits against major retailers to force them to pass the refunded billions back to the public. I got interrupted by my puppy and my cat. Okay, I'm starting over. The top corporate beneficiaries. Number one, Walmart. Set to claw back an estimated $10.2 billion. Primary beneficiaries, the Walton family, worth over $200 billion collectively. Number two, Apple, reclaiming $3.3 billion in manufacturing tariff offsets. Primary beneficiaries, institutional block holders and executives like Tim Cook. Number three, Target, owed roughly $2.2 billion in refunds. Number four, Nike, positioned to receive $1 billion back. Primary beneficiary, billionaire founder Phil Knight. Number five, Home Depot, confirmed it has already started receiving chunks of its estimated $540 million payout. Primary beneficiaries, billionaire co-founder Arthur Blank and Ken Langone. Now, we all know that Home Depot has always been a huge supporter of Donald Trump. So, and as I look at these names, these are all pretty much Trump supporters getting money first. All right, let's see. Next is Kohl's, recovering $550 million. Then there's General Motors, boosted its 2026 corporate earnings estimates after tracking a $500 million refund. Gap Incorporated, slated to receive $400 million. Primary beneficiaries, the billionaire Fisher family founders. I don't know if there's any other ones, but those are the ones that listed primarily. Why the wealthy profit while citizens do not? The money goes to these specific entities due to strict trade logistics laws. Number one, the importer of record rule. Legally, U.S. Customs and Border Protection can only transfer Cape Portal refunds to the legal entity that paid the port duties directly. I wonder who made that law. 2, corporate bottom lines. Because these companies are keeping the cash rather than distributing it to the shoppers who paid inflated retail prices, the money immediately transformed into pure corporate profit, inflating stock valuations and benefiting Wall Street asset managers. What Walmart plans to do with the money. During their recent first quarter 2026 earnings call, Walmart Chief Financial Officer John David Rainey outlined exactly where the cash is going. Shareholder buybacks. A massive portion of the cash will be used to buy back Walmart stock, which artificially reduces the number of shares available, raises the stock price, and directly enriches Wall Street investors and the Walton family. Automation and tech. The company plans to funnel billions into building out automated supply chain hubs and AI-driven inventory systems. Let's just take all those jobs away. And then there is the debt reduction, paying down existing corporate debts to improve their bottom dollar. I went to Walmart. Well, I shop at Walmart because I'm disabled and I can't go around taking coupons to a whole bunch of different stores and shopping smart. And, I just don't have the energy for that. So I go to Walmart to try to get everything done at once. And I hate every minute of it. I hate having to go there. I hate those days that I have to go shopping. I resent it very much because it's the only place I have to go. I live in a town of 169 people. The closest place is about 20 miles from here. So it's a pretty all-day excursion for me to go shopping. And so it really, really sucks when I have to go to Walmart. And coffee there used to be, for one of the big canisters of coffee, used to be about, $7 something. Just a little under $8 or a little under $9. Now I can't remember. It's been so long. And it is just under $17, and it has sat there like that for a very long time. You can go on to walmart.com and find out how much their cheapest brand coffee is. It's the Walmart brand. And so it's a little under $17. And I've been paying that for a long time. It's on my receipts. Everything I've bought at Walmart with their inflated prices is on my receipt. They could easily refund money back to their shoppers, their customers, but they are choosing not to. Okay, so the legal loophole protecting the corporations. The reason this is happening comes down to how U.S. trade and tax laws are written. Legally, U.S. Customs and Border Protection views the importer of record, the corporation that physically brought the goods into the port, as a taxpayer. Because the law doesn't track what happens after the goods leave the port, the courts only recognize the corporation as the victim of the illegal tax, completely ignoring the fact that the consumer ultimately footed the bill at the cash register. Legal at public and legal backlash. The outrage you are feeling, hopefully we're all feeling, is shared by millions, and it has triggered severe legal and political pushback. Consumer class action lawsuits. Legal groups have filed massive class action lawsuits against Walmart, Target, and Amazon. These lawsuits argue unjust enrichment, claiming that keeping the refunds while having already forced consumers to pay the tax constitutes corporate theft. Congressional demands. Several lawmakers are pushing for a tariff windfall tax that would heavily tax these specific corporate refunds unless the companies can prove they are passing at least 50% of the money back to the consumers via price cuts. Double dipping. Major corporations are effectively double dipping on the backs of regular taxpayers. The first windfall, the price hike. When the tariffs were originally put in place, corporations protected their bottom line by raising store prices. You paid that extra markup at the cash register, meaning you covered their initial tax bill. The second windfall, the refund. Now that the Supreme Court struck down the trade policy, the federal government is handing the exact same money back to the corporate headquarters with added interest. Interest that our money could have been gaining while it sat in our bank accounts, not their bank accounts. And perhaps I wouldn't be running out of food in the middle of the month as a disabled person living on a very small income. I ran out of food 2 weeks ago. I can't wait for the first of the month to come so that I can go get some food. Instead of giving back the money to the deserving people, they're keeping the money for themselves, and they're not even going to discount their prices yet. Coffee is still just under $17 at Walmart. It did not come back down to $8. So they're still charging us inflated prices, getting a refund with interest. So if this doesn't piss you off enough to get out and vote, I really don't know what will, okay? So the double dip. Because these stores are keeping the shelf prices high and pocketing the government check, they successfully made consumers pay for the inventory, got reimbursed by the Treasury for the same inventory, and are walking away with record-breaking margins on the exact same items. Plus interest. The financial system behind it, legal and economic analysts from the organizations like the Groundwork Collaborative have explicitly called this out as a massive corporate windfall at the expense of the working class. Because the money being refunded to these corporations comes directly out of the U.S. Treasury, it is ultimately funded by American taxpayers. This creates a loop where everyday citizens are squeezed twice. First at the checkout counter, and second through the emptying of the public funds to line corporate balance sheets. So this is coming out of our tax dollars, and it already came out of our pocket. There's a current fight back. So because the system functions this way, the battle has shifted entirely to the courts and the public pressure campaigns. So there's lawsuits going on, yada, yada, yada. And, the attorneys for these class action lawsuits are going to make billions, get very rich, and we're going to get pennies. So we're never going to see anything. We're not even going to see the prices discounted. According to what they're saying, Walmart hasn't even lowered their prices. And I was at the store the other day and coffee was still $16. And the coffee creamer is well over $6 for a tall canister that used to be $3.56. And the small canister was $1.56. It has, nearly tripled. So that's the reality. We're just getting screwed everywhere we go, okay? So we need to vote. We need to vote like never before because our life depends on it. Our sanity depends on it because we cannot listen to this gaslighting bullshit another day. We need to vote these people out, and this November is our only chance. This November, if we don't get out and vote this November and flip that, not just the House, but the Senate with enough seats to take control, 60 minimum, 67 would be the best. If we don't do that, I don't know where we're going to go from here. There will be no coming back from this. We have to vote. Please. Thank you for listening. I want to read a little something that I found in a book from 1898. It's called The Meaning of Success. And this is how it goes. There are very many other things much more valuable than riches, for which men ought to strive. The getting of great estates, the eager grasping after money may ruin him who gets it. It is infinitely better to die poor than to get riches by any unjust means, however popular such means may be. For individuals who, like those of many empires of the past, gain wealth by despoiling others, like them, will sooner or later sink beneath the weight of their spoilers. He who gets riches as spoil, taken from others, rather than as the product of his own honest efforts and skill, must always develop the baser elements of his nature at the expense of his better, nobler faculties, and in such case his wealth is woefully expensive to him. What a curse money becomes to its owner when it causes him to sacrifice all honor, all gratitude, all friendship and love. In the sight of heaven, what consummate folly it is to seek to perpetuate a name by building up glittering piles of gold in a world of much ignorance, vice, and suffering, without ever lifting a hand to help or giving a dollar to relieve earth's wretchedness. He who makes his wealth a blessing to his fellow man can never have too much of it, while he who uses it solely for his own self-aggrandizement dwarfs his manhood and degrades the purpose for which he was created.